She hadn't smiled in 184 days, not since the accident, not since the silence where her brother's laughter used to be. One sentence from a stranger was about to change everything. For Nina, the world had lost its color. Life was a series of motions she went through on autopilot. Wake up, go to school, keep quiet, walk home, repeat. Her grief was a heavy, invisible coat she couldn't take off, even when the rain soaked through her hoodie. It was on a particularly bleak Tuesday afternoon that she saw it. Tucked between a loud laundromat and a boarded-up building was a place that seemed to exist out of time. A warm, golden light spilled from its window, a silent invitation out of the cold. The inside was a sanctuary from the storm, both outside and within her. Behind a large wooden counter stood an old woman with silver hair braided down her back and eyes that seemed to hold a universe of kindness. This was Ilara. Nina felt a strange sense of calm. No one was staring. No one was whispering. After a few minutes of silent browse, she turned to leave, her social energy completely spent. As she reached the door, the old woman finally spoke, her voice as soft as the turning of a page.
You have a beautiful sadness about you. It's a sign of a deep love. But I think it's time your eyes learned how to smile again.
Nina didn't know how to respond. For 6 months, people had either avoided her pain or drowned her in pity. No one had ever acknowledged it with such simple, profound grace. She couldn't find her voice, so she simply walked to a nearby table, picked up a thin book of poetry, paid for it in silence, and left. But she returned the next day, and the day after that. Ilara never mentioned their first conversation again. She never asked about Nina's brother or why she was so sad. Instead, she communicated through books. The bookstore became her cocoon. The stories she read were her therapy. Ilara's silent companionship was her medicine. Slowly, painstakingly, the gray began to recede from Nina's world. Months had passed. The heavy coat of grief was now lighter, more like a familiar scarf. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was beginning to live, and she wanted to thank the woman who had shown her how. But it was gone. She blinked, walked up and down the block, her heart pounding with confusion. It was as if the bookstore and Ilara had never existed at all. Just a dream she had desperately needed. And in that moment, she understood. Whether it was real or magic, it didn't matter. The bookstore had been an bridge back to life. A bridge built with a few simple words. One kind sentence. One unexpected voice that sees past the pain to the person within. Sometimes in the deepest darkness, that's all the light it takes to save a life.